Welcome to Change Starts Here, a FranklinCovey education podcast for K-12 leaders driving meaningful change through bold thinking, real stories, and proven strategies for lasting impact. Now here's your host, Dustin Odham.
The start of the year was about resetting. As the year unfolded, we started talking about how to manage energy in the middle of the year. And now, this is the time of year where a certain word that we all know starts floating around quietly. Burnout. Not dramatic burnout, not I'm quitting education burnout, but the subtle kind, the kind where it's tough to get out of bed every morning, the kind where it takes a little more effort to show up every day the way you want to show up. Welcome to the Change Starts Here podcast. I'm your host, Dustin Odham. And today, we're not just talking about naming the word burnout. We're going to talk about how to fight it. If this conversation or topic resonates with you, take a quick second to follow or subscribe wherever you listen. And as always, please share your comments in the box below. Let's just say it out loud. This job is hard. Leading adults is hard. Supporting students is hard. Carrying expectations is hard. Balancing family, health, and leadership is hard. You are not crazy for feeling that. But here's what I want to challenge all of us this month. While burnout is real, powerlessness is optional. Let me tell you a quick story of my leadership that I'll never forget. It was mid-March years ago. Testing season was coming. 2 teachers were in conflict. A parent email, as they always can do from time to time, escalated overnight. And a student discipline problem blew up before the first bell ever happened. I walked in the building and I was already behind. By 9:12 a.m., I'd already dealt with 3 separate situations. It was then a teacher met me in the hallway and asked me, "Do you have a minute?" I thought to myself, a minute? Are you kidding? There's no chance I have a minute. I barely have oxygen right now. But I smiled because that's what I was taught to do. And I just asked for a second and I walked into my office and I closed the door and I just sat there. And I'll never forget the feeling. I just sat there and I just felt that heaviness. I felt that voice that says, this is too much. This shouldn't be this hard. And my favorite one, which I ask often still I struggle with, why does this happen all at once? The truth is nothing catastrophic had happened. It was just March. And it was that moment I realized something, that the circumstances weren't new, but my interpretation was very different. In the fall, I would have called that morning impactful. In March, I was calling that morning exhausting. Same job, different lens. And here's the turning point, and it's not a complicated one. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me today? I started in that moment asking a question that a mentor gave me. What does leadership require of me right now? That question snapped me back into owning my role as a leader. Not toxic positivity, not pretending I wasn't tired or exhausted, just ownership. That moment I stood up, I took one more deep breath, and I opened the door. And I handled that conversation with intention, not irritation. Did the workload shrink? Not a chance. Did the parent situation magically resolve? Not at all. But I remember how I felt. I changed. And I believe when the leader changes, the room changes, which is why I always tell my 6th grade boys basketball team, be a thermostat, not a thermometer. The teacher in the hallway that day, she didn't need me to solve everything, which is what I was feeling. She just needed me to be steady. That parent, they weren't looking for perfection from me. They wanted my presence. And that student certainly didn't need the escalation I was prepared to give them that day. They just needed a regulated adult. See, the pressure didn't lighten. I strengthened. And that's the shift. One of our core beliefs at FranklinCovey Education is that we don't believe you can change anyone. You can only change yourself. And through that self-improvement, we can influence everything and everyone around us. The truth about burnout is most burnout doesn't come from workload alone. Most burnout comes from the story we attach to that workload. It's the belief that this shouldn't be happening. Kids shouldn't act like this. This year shouldn't feel so heavy. And when reality collides with expectation, exhaustion grows. But what if this season isn't exposing your weakness? What if it's just exposing the way you should see the world around you? Because there's a version of the season where you feel buried. But there's also a version of this season where you feel sharpened. Same school, same staff, same students, same calendar, completely different interpretation. So we've talked about in past podcasts, interpretation drives energy, energy drives leadership, and leadership drives culture. You don't control your calendar, but you control the meaning you assign to your calendar. And I don't think that's denial. I would just call that agency. Instead of asking yourself, why is this so hard? Ask yourself, who is this season shaping me to become? That question right there changes posture. And burnout thrives in victim language. Growth thrives in ownership language. And ownership doesn't mean pretending you're not tired, because we're all exhausted at times, especially right now. It just means that fatigue doesn't get the final say. I've had to live this in my own life. As some of you know, I lost 70 pounds, and that didn't happen because I felt energized every day. I cut back on massive amounts of prednisone, and that didn't happen because it was convenient. Training hard rather than coast, which I would love to do, didn't happen from superior motivation. It came from identity. When I started asking myself, who do I want to become for me, my wife, my 3 sons, my team at work, instead of just asking, how do I feel right now? Everything in my life shifted. And I believe leadership is no different. Who do you want to become right now? This season asks a powerful question. Are you leading from circumstance, or are you leading from identity? Because circumstances will drain you, identity will sustain you. If you see yourself as someone who survives, you'll grind. If you see yourself as someone who grows, you'll adjust. So how do we fight burnout in a real practical way? Not with inspirational fluff, not with denial. We just fight burnout with actual leadership. So here are 3 leadership shifts I want you to make if you're struggling with burnout right now. First, separate fatigue from frustration. You might be tired, and that's human, but don't let temporary fatigue turn into permanent cynicism. Rest your body, but guard your mindset. Second, reclaim your circle of control. You can't control student behavior. You can't control district or state mandates. You can't control staffing shortages, which I know many people are dealing with these days. But you can control your tone, your preparation, your conversations, and your standards. Burnout accelerates when we obsess over things we cannot control. Energy rebuilds when we attack what we can control. Third, upgrade your meaning. Instead of saying, this is exhausting, just try, this is refining. Instead of, this year is too much, try, this year is building capacity. The event doesn't change, but the emotional outcome does. Educators don't burn out because they don't care. Educators burn out because they care deeply and forget to care for themselves strategically. Fighting burnout isn't about doing less meaningful work. Fighting burnout is about doing meaningful work with stronger systems. I want you to sleep like it matters. Move your body like it matters. Protect your quiet time like it matters. Say no to things that are taking away or dilute your mission. You are not a machine. You are a leader. And leaders don't drift, they decide. The calendar doesn't get to decide your energy, you do. So here's my challenge for you. For the next 30 days, stop talking about how hard this stretch is. Start talking about who it is shaping you to become. Then watch what happens to your posture, to your tone, to your building. Heck, Watch what happens to your health, your family, and your friends. Change doesn't start when circumstances improve. Change starts when leaders choose ownership, when they choose agency. You don't have to feel perfect. You don't have to feel unstoppable. You just have to decide that this season of your life is shaping you, not shrinking you. And when leaders make that shift, culture follows. So I want you to fight burnout, not with denial, not with resentment, but with ownership, with identity, with self-discipline leadership. You are not stuck. You are being built. In this season, it's strengthening you for what's next. So keep showing up, keep adjusting, and keep choosing growth over drift. As we close, if this episode challenged you or inspired you in any way, please share it with another leader who might need this message right now. Also, make sure you're following or subscribed to Change Starts Here so you don't miss what's coming next. And as always, if you're willing, please drop a word in the comments that just describes who you're becoming this season in your life. Lastly, remember, change doesn't start when circumstances improve. Change starts right here with you. Till next time.
FranklinCovey Education is a trusted partner in developing leaders from the classroom to the boardroom in over 8,000 schools in over 70 countries.